Hey everyone, we're in Brooklyn, New York, and these are our urban bees that we're getting ready for the winter time. This is 2016, so these methods may be antiquated by the time you're watching this video, but it's what we're doing this year to get the bees ready for winter. And the hardest part of beekeeping, I think, is getting them through a New England winter. So let me walk you through what we're going to do here.
Well,
all right?
Wait, why would it be antiquated in 2 years or 3 years?
Well, we're going to use a mite treatment called using oxalic acid, and in a couple of years there might be a new mite treatment, or we might not even have to treat for mites anymore. So, or they might invent some kind of new winter feed or something like that. But anyway, let's go through this. The first thing we do is we wrap the hives in polystyrene. It's a building insulation. It's not cheap, but it works really well, and you cut it once and it'll last for years. So Brian was cutting that. The idea here is that the front and the back and the sides all have a snug fit, so that the polystyrene is right up against the wood of the hive. But be sure to leave plenty of room at the front entrance of the hive. Don't let the polystyrene block the front entrance or the upper entrance to your hive.
Well, tell me why the front entrance. Why is that so important?
Well, the bees need to be able to get in and out, and they usually go out the bottom. But then if there's too much snow, that entrance can get closed. And if it's a warm day and they want to go out to have a cleansing flight, because they don't poop in the hive, we have the upper entrance hole so they can go out there. So just make sure your insulation isn't covering either one of those. So the first thing we do is we're taking off the liquid sugar syrup feeders that have been on all fall. We've been feeding and feeding and feeding all fall long. We take those off, and then we do an oxalic acid dribble treatment. There'll be a link at the end of the show for that video, but we put 50 milliliters of this oxalic acid in each hive using just the syringe thing. You'll get a feel for how to do it. There's a great video I did about that. Of course it's great, and then I'm going to lay down these winter sugar patties, which are moister than the dry sugar we're using. And I thought, well, let's just see if that works this year. I just think providing as much food as possible for the bees, because we've had bees starve on us before. So I lay down 2 of those patties, and if I can, I pull the wax covering off the patty and I lay that down. Next, I put down a sheet of regular newspaper. Make sure the newspaper doesn't cover the whole top of the hive. You want like an inch around the whole thing. And then I lay on...
Why is that? Why do you need an inch around?
So they can get around the newspaper to get to the sugar. They will chew through the newspaper to get the sugar, but if it's open around the edges, they can just go around and get it as well. A little easier. By the end of the year, if they've eaten the sugar, they'll remove all that newspaper because they're super fastidious in the hive. But I just lay down about 4 pounds of sugar. It's so white, can't see.
I know, it's the mesh in front of our eyes.
And then on top of that, I custom made these winter insulated covers. You don't have to do that. You can just use a spacer rim, a piece of polystyrene, and your regular outer cover. Again, there's another video we made about that. The links are down here and at the end of the show. And then we just strap the heck out of the hive. We strap the polystyrene around it. We strap the hive to its hive stand, and we're going to strap it to the chimney on the roof as well. If you're doing this in your yard, get some of those stakes that screw into the ground, usually for like a dog leash, and you can strap onto those. But if your hive falls over, first of all, you don't want it to fall over, but it does, it will stay together. We made a video about that because wind blew over one of my hives and I saved the hive because I strapped it.
Do we go in during the winter? Are we going to check to see if they still have food?
If we get a day above 40 degrees, we'll come up here and check it out. I've done that and then realized they're eating all the sugar, and I've poured more dry sugar on top. But usually using this whole method I've figured out, this winterization method, I haven't had to do that. Only once did I have to put some more sugar on top. But if it's below 40, I do not suggest opening the hive. But again, I'm just your amateur guy. Other people might have opinions about that, and I'm sure they'll tell me about it in the comments here.
And how many bees will survive throughout the winter?
You know, I don't know. I would say it's 30% of the summer population. You know, in the fall, the queen stops laying, the number of brood drops. When it's this cold, they're not laying brood. And that's why you put the oxalic acid on now, is because that oxalic acid only treats mites that are on bees not in the comb. And a lot of the larvae have mites on them in the comb. So if we're doing it in the late fall, early winter, there isn't any brood, the oxalic acid can do its thing. So there you go. Any other questions, Brian? Or
what are the chances that both of these or one of these will survive this winter?
You know, for me, it's like 30%. We have a 30% high fatality rate. Just sometimes the mite load is too much. I'm kind of not super aggressive with our mite treatments. We do one mite treatment in the late fall every year, and that's been good for us. We have the screen bottom board. In the winter, we close that screen bottom board. I think that's really important. And you do everything you can, and then you just cross your fingers. Beekeeping is it's farming. You know, you will lose animals. So, but anyway, I just want to share that with you. Again, we're just amateur beekeepers documenting what we're doing here. If you guys have any questions or comments, always love to hear from you in the comments below. And watch all our other beekeeping videos. There should be a link right here or up in here somewhere to do that. All right, so make it a great day. Thank you, Brian, for helping me. See ya.